I don't know if someone is crazy enough to stand the 3 talks beside me, but they are all not hardcore technical, but not too hard either, so they should be fine, and I shouldn't run out of time. I won't have to go to a very intensive level, like some people say I compress audio on the fly. That shouldn't happen tonight, maybe. So this first talk is about PDF secrets. Welcome to my talk. My name is ANGE ALBERTINI, and it's about hiding and revealing secrets in PDF documents. So first, so I'm ANGE ALBERTINI, I'm reverse engineering, and also writing some visual docs, and this is how you can contact me. And my website is called Quarkami, where I just store my findings and stuff. And today the idea is to learn the PDF internals. I mean, I insist on internals. I don't want you to just have an understanding of what PDF could be and how you could use some tools to understand it, because then that could be someone else's training. But here we will go through the actual content of the PDF on simple examples. And anyway, we have Kurt over here. You can raise your hand, who's a god of PDF at making level. So if you have questions about printing, working, he's the level, and I'm the guy who's just looking at them with the hex editor. So if you open PDFs with a normal tool, it's him, and if you open PDFs with a hex editor, it's me. And so the goal is to learn that, and I think it's important to have an actual application when you learn something, and the application here today will be hiding or revealing content in PDF documents. So it could be, if you removed an element from your PDF document, how to make sure by yourself that it's really gone from the file. If someone sent you a file and it looks censored, how you could re-enable the content that was deleted, if it's possible. Or the other way, if you want to temporarily hide some content during transit, you say, and then you re-enable it easily then when it's time to use it. And once again, I'm not going to rely on this particular toolkit, because then you could make your own toolkit, your own method, but just in general. So this is real examples that we will work with in the end. So that's unclassified but censor hierarchy report from some what is British government or something. And this is the POC GTFO 5 document where a poem has been censored, so it's here, but you have to re-enable it, and it's not so easy because the PDF, I made it, so it's quite fucked up. So those are real examples that we work about re-enabling the content that is still present but inaccessible from normal tools. So if you want some extra details, non-technical ones, they were covered in my presentation in Mannheim, Raumzeitlabor in May. And yeah, here you have the link. But basically, all the technical stuff is here again. So, and all the examples, you can find them on my website. Here's the address. So first, we'll start really slowly with the basics of the PDF file format. And that's a PDF, that's a complete PDF here. It displays Hello World. We'll go through. This poster, I made it, and it's free to print, reuse, or something. So I think this one is even open source. So I share those posters. So if you want to print yourself a poster about the basics of PDF, I made this poster. So this is a PDF poster on the PDF. Yeah, why not? And let's start with just with a simple example and a reminder that it's simplified because any PDF is actually usually much more complex. So this is just a PDF that says Hello World, and this is all it needs. There could be more elements, but at least it's not really trickery here. And what's important is that you have a mix of text that you can edit. You can add space, new lines and stuff. It doesn't matter. And then suddenly in the middle you have some binary. So basically, if you use any editor that has abilities to stand up to keep the binary intact while editing the text, then you can actually work manually with editing the PDF directly, and that's what we will do. So recommended environment is what I'll have here, is that I put the text editor on one side, and I put a lightweight PDF reader that can update on the fly so that you can immediately see your changes. And then we will use some tools to actually decompressed streams. I'll explain that later. And also, if we tweak the PDF and it stops working, then we can check with those tools. And if you have more questions anyway, you can ask Kurt, because he's the god of PDF on Stack Exchange. You reached 25,000 reputation recently. He's more modest than he looks. So, for example, that's an example where you have the PDF open and you can edit it. And the moment you change something and you save, immediately you see the changes. So you can clearly manipulate and learn the PDF by hand. That's really a progressive way. That's a nice thing to do when studying the PDF format. So the structure of PDF, there is first a header with a small signature, then the body of the PDF itself with all the objects, the cross-reference table, and the trailer. We'll see what it means. So first, we have, let me know if you cannot see, maybe that's good enough, I don't know. So first you have a signature at the top of it. So this is just mentioning the version of the PDF, and this is just a stupid trick from Adobe saying you put a percentage because that's a command line, then 4 non-ASCII characters just to tell the text editor it's non-ASCII. So basically that's entirely not required. So then that's all. That's all for the signature. It's required, but yeah. And it should be at the start of the file. Then you have the body, and the body is made of objects. So an object starts always with this syntax. So 1, a number, the generation number, but it's always, I'd say, 0. Then object, and then this is the content of the object, and then there's end object. So this declares object 1, generation 0, but it's always generation 0, so I'll stop mentioning. This is object 1, it contains this. This is object 2, it contains this, and so on. So really, you could add a comment, you could add something else. This is just, you can edit it directly with the text editor. And then, at the end, you have cross-reference table, which is a table giving the offsets of each, giving the offsets of each object. So, okay, so it's cross-reference. This means it's 5 objects, and it starts at index 0. For some reason, the first index is always null, is always this, so there's F here, meaning it's not used. And then this means now we are at index 1. That object 1, the offset of object 1 is 16. The offset of object 2 is 51, and so on. It's just giving the parser the offsets to the actual objects. The thing is, yeah, we can see it here with the right colors from earlier. There's one nasty trick here, is that each line should be 20 characters. So basically, if you count, there is 1 missing character if you are using Unix return lines. So you need to add a space at the end of this line so that it's valid for the PDF format. But if you use Windows double 0D0A return character, then you don't need this space anymore. Makes sense. Thanks, Adobe. And now the last part is the trailer. So there is an object. There is an object that starts with trailer. We'll see that later. Oh yeah, it's important to mention. It defines the root element of the PDF. So basically, where the PDF starts, where the document starts in the structure of the file, is defined here. So it means this will be the object 1 is the root. It could be another one, it doesn't matter, but it's specified here. And the size here means there are 5 objects, which, yeah, it's not required, but still, usually it's there. And then at the end, you have a pointer to. So you have this end of file signature, then starts cross-reference, and this is the offset where the cross-reference table starts. If it's corrupted or missing, usually it's recovered by tools, but still, that's how now you know that it's this stuff. It's the offset of the cross-reference table, and that's all. Now let's go in details about the basic type to understand it better again. So first, a command, even though there can be binary, it's still parsed as text initially. So if you have a %, then it's command line until there is a return line, and Windows or Unix return lines are tolerated. Then this is a syntax coming from PostScript. So this means it's a string between parentheses, and this is hex. And now there are other types less used, but I won't mention them for the sake of simplicity. So for example, I mentioned that string is between parentheses and hex is between angle brackets. And here, basically these files are two equivalent. One is saying display hello world, this is the string, and this one here, just this is hello world but in hex with angle brackets. This actually does exactly the same thing. It's just a different encoding. Yes? So it should. Maybe if I was careful enough, no. Yeah, here, no, the object starts at the same position, right? But here, this is later, this is earlier, and here I updated. Here it's 34. But if it was wrong, it would be recovered by all the tools anyway. But I did. So you're right, this made the thing move. And also the length of the stream, here it's 53, here it's 75. But once again, if that was corrupted, it would be recovered by all tools except the Mac ones and Firefox. But the others are completely tolerating this because I assume standard PDFs in the wild are completely wrong or corrupted. And then another important feature is that object reference. So basically, you create a pointer from one object to the other. And this is by what we saw earlier, by this syntax. So it's 20R. So all the other syntax are forward. I mean, most of the syntax are forward because they are PDF, but this syntax is coming from PostScript, which was tag-based, so it's actually backward. So this means reference to object 20R. So even if it looks like 3 elements, this is actually suddenly a kind of a 20 reference to that, backward. So it's PostScript, because PDF is an encapsulation of PostScript. So suddenly you have this forward syntax, but for this R1, it's actually backward. I mean, suddenly the R means, oh, the 2 elements before were actually part of me. Now you explain, you understand why PDF is, yeah, so good. So this is just a pointer. So basically, here, by example, you have pages, and it tells you that the pages is object 2. So basically, the pages defined in object 1 means this is the object 2, and the one kid of the object 2 is object 3, and it's good. 3 is a nice kid because he says parent is my object 2. So the kids and the parents acknowledge each other, which is good, but you see, it's, yeah, pointers, references. So for example, this, you could use 57, like, yeah, this is just a number, but if you replace with this, and this reference to object number 354, and 354 actually just contains 57, then this is the same result. This is transparent for the parser. Of course, you would need a new, in theory, you would need a new cross-reference table, update the pointers, but usually, even if you don't, it will work straight directly. So, yeah, once again, it's odd, but it's critical to understand. So, for example, if you would have 3, 0, 1, that's a sequence of 3 elements, 3, 0, and 1. And if you have suddenly 3, 0, R, this is just one element, which is a PostScript-like reference to object 3, generation 0. And of course, if this was lowercase, then that wouldn't be a reference anymore because it's case sensitive. So that would probably be wrong. But anyway, suddenly this is really specific. When you see this R, it's like, oh, take the 2 ones before. So yeah, and names are just like the symbols in Ruby. They are called reserved keyboards, and there are all those specific parameters. And usually they are camel case, and they are case sensitive. So if you just replace pages with the lowercase one, it's usually not seen as, it won't trigger an error, except that it won't see the page one. So basically, this is incorrect, but it won't trigger an error. That's just a missing element. So basically, it's really useful when you want to play around and when you just want to disable a tag, you write it lowercase, and suddenly it stops being a reference. So any of those parameters, page, kids, parent, media box, count, they are specific, they are defined by the specs, but you could replace kids with the lowercase kids. The page won't be rendered, but the PDF won't fail because it's still valid as a syntax, even though the document becomes empty because there are no pages anymore. Yeah, and arrays, no complex thing here, just square brackets. Once again, if you have a 30R, it's 1 value, and if you just have this, then it's 4 values. So arrays are not complex, it's still this reference thingy that is odd. And yeah, bothering with everything. And dictionaries, just hash maps or dictionaries, so you have one name, then a value. Then here we can have a few examples. So yeah, for example, let's zoom. So here we have a dictionary which defines the page, the name pages to 20R. And here a dictionary of 1, 2, 3 examples. So kids is defined, count is defined, and type is defined. So here we have kids is defined as an array to a reference, count is defined as a number, and the type is defined to a name. So this is how you read it. And object reference, once again, so we see that pages, I insist on that because, yeah, it's not so straightforward, I'd say. So once again, pages, reference, and the page, what is here will point to the content of this dictionary, what is between object and end object. So now streams, the other important part of the PDF. Now we saw all the types from the text part. Now let's look at the streams. And a stream is usually, there is a object declaration, then the dictionary, and then between the stream and the end stream characters. So here we have an object declaration. Then this is a dictionary just about the parameters of the stream, so typically the length and how it's encoded. Then you have this stream and end stream. And between this stream and end stream, it can be just anything, and usually it's binary. And to be used by the parser, this would be decoded by the filter. So basically here you can have anything you want. And if you're familiar with POC GTFO, I put a lot of shit in this guide. So I made a TrueCrypt volume, I put a CD-ROM image. You have stream and stream, you could put just anything. So yeah, it's really, and it's not because it's in the file that it would be necessarily parsed if the object is not referenced anywhere. So the object, the stream parameters, what the filter means how it's encoded, and the length, well, that's quite obvious. And this is the content. Now we'll see how it could be different. So the filter define the encodings, and the encoding can be cascaded. And then each filter is applied, so each decoder is applied after the other, and only the final data after all these decoders matters for the parser. So, for example, we have here a plain text stream, and we have here exactly the same stream, except that it's compressed by deflate, which is zip compression, and for that you just change the length, just to be German, and the filter, just to say, okay, now use the zip decompression on that. So these streams are equivalent. Another example, now I took the same stream, but I just ask it, instead of keeping it as binary, to keep it as hex representation, and this is another filter. So now there are two filters, and this one will be applied first, and then this one will be applied second. So first, convert hex to binary, and then apply zip decompression on it. And those streams are equivalent. This is still just a hello world stream. So the filters, usually you see the known, okay, well, it's direct binary, and then the zip decompression, and then the ASCII to just make it easier to edit. Usually, of course, it's bloated, but it's handy. And MuTool, has a tool to directly turn everything in hex, not binary anymore, so that it's really easy. Then your PDF becomes non-binary. So if you want to exploit something by sending it as a string, this is a good way to turn a complete PDF in an instant way as ASCII only. So you could send it as a string. And another important filter is this one, just means it's a JPEG image. And the JPEG images are stored directly in the file. This is really important because if you have to know, because we'll see later, if you have an image that you wanted to remove from a PDF, or you may want to make sure it's deleted, the JPEG images are really stored completely as binary inside the file. And then there is some encryption and stuff, or JPEG 2000 fax, but we don't care about that. So now let's see how it's parsed again. So first we check the signature, then we check the end of file. You know, that's really straightforward. Then we look at the start xref, which gives us the offset of the cross-reference. Then the cross-reference table gives us the offset of each object. The trailer gives us the root object, which is 1 here. So we start here. And then everything is parsed. Object 1 defines pages, that is object 2. The keys of the page is object 3, and so on. And then it goes and goes. So now there is a 1 page declared here. We'll see that again later. And then at the end, the content of the page is this. And this means begin text, select a font, move the cursor, display the string, and add text. And that gives you the display on the screen. And once again here, you could type extra spaces or new lines. It will be OK. We'll see that later, but still. Of course, this is a strict minimum, and a typical PDF embeds a lot more information. If you just take OpenOffice or LibreOffice, whatever, Word, and you create Hello World, it will be typically more than 5 kilobytes. But the other way is also valid. And in the malware world, a lot of those elements, like the length, the cross-reference table, can be removed. And this and the file will still work without any any error. Even though Kurt will consider it invalid, for me it's still fine, and that's what I play with. And also, each reader has its own weirdness, and that's what I mentioned in my next talk on schizophrenic files. So it's not really standard, it's really messy, and even Adobe itself is not really a good example, because here this is a Hello World that is opened without any error by Adobe, and it's 179 bytes. There is no cross-reference, there is no length, there are a lot of stuff missing, even the signature is incomplete, but it opens. So typical PDF are bloated. Malware PDF can be much smaller, and I'm just showing you something in the middle, so that it's worth studying, but not too complex. So just to give you examples, I contribute, do you know POC-GTFO? It's kind of FRAC-like magazine by Travis Goodspeed, and it's one of the issues was published was at the CCC last year, and so it's Travis Goodspeed is the redactor, and I'm the guy playing on the PDF level. So the issue 2 was bootable. It's a PDF, so you have a PDF, and it's bootable, and you can enjoy the name Berliner Spargel operating system. So Travis did that. Then the next issue, I went a bit crazy, was a JPEG, was audio sound. If you encrypt the issue, that's my third talk today, you get a PNG. It was also a zip. So you see, it's still a valid PDF, but it's also all this shit together. The issue number 4 was also a TrueCrypt, valid TrueCrypt document. So it's a TrueCrypt volume. So you can open the PDF and open it in TrueCrypt at the same time. So because PDF is really, how do you say, tolerant. And the last issue was also a flash that would rickroll you, and an ISO that would boot a Tetris in 200 bytes. So you see, the PDF is tolerant, and yeah, I know a bit what I'm talking about when I mentioned that. So just a reminder of syntax before we start the actual review. So the commands start with a % until a return. That's a hex string between angle brackets. Standard string between parentheses, so two equivalent objects, two equivalent data. Then dictionary between double angle brackets, name and value. So for example, these are real examples from files. So this defines the size, and this defines the creator as a string ANGE ALBERTINI, so from a PDF writer. Array between square brackets, no problem here. And binary streams defines, you can put everything, anything between end stream and end stream. So that's actually a problem if your stream would accidentally contain the word end stream. And I had this problem because one of my stream was containing a PDF reader, and PDF reader contained the word end stream, so it was closing the stream at this point. So I had to pack the PDF reader inside the PDF, because then my stream, yeah, that's me. Yeah, and the string and the streams also, they have their encoding parameters like the filters that we saw earlier in the object dictionary. And also, what's important, the backward syntaxes, because of the PostScript inheritance. So this reference thingy, so refer to 1, 0, or backward, and it refers to anything between the object and end object. And also, inside the content of the PDF of a page in a stream, this is also backward. The TF says use text font. the TD defines put cursor. The TJ says print this string, so it's always backward in the content of a page. Yeah, not exactly straightforward. So once again, now this is a bit maybe cleaner, but yeah, maybe I won't go again details. Just earlier I didn't insist on the content of the page. So our page here, which says nicely, this is my parent. It's not really required. The dimension of the page, then it defines one resource that is a font that has the name F1, and it will be a font of subtype 1, and basically it's declaring for this page the font Arial as F1. And then it says for the page, my content that's here. And that's the F1 you see here, being used in size 110. So text font here of F1, which is Arial, in size 110. Move that cursor 10, 400, and display this string with this font, of course, hello world. So that's the content of our hello world PDF. Once again, not minimal, but not realistic if you would use LibreOffice or whatever, or Google Doc, but it works, and it's standard, even valid for Kurt. Just an element that I need to insist on, because we will mention that later. If you would use an image, you would have three extra stuff. In the resource, you declare an object that links a name, the name you want, to a specific object. This object here has the type XSubject. Okay, that's the same thing here, which is a subtype of image, the original dimension of the image, and here the image data. So basically, if you would include an image in your PDF, it becomes a totally independent object from the content of the page. In the page content, it has to be referenced like this. But even if you delete the reference from here, the image is totally present as an object. So if you just deleted the reference here, but the object is still in the page, with a very simple tool looking for objects with a subtype image and just dumping this to a file, someone would extract the image. There are tools for that called PDF images. So if you wanted to make sure one image was really removed, because then it's really important to check the object and not just the content of the page. Because here it won't be present visible anymore, but it's actually fully in the file. So if this is critical for you, if this picture was sensitive, like it was confidential, then it will be trivial to get it again. So it's really important, because text is here. If you remove text from here, it's not present anymore. But here, it's just an image reference, and the content is available in clear without any problem. So yeah, images are independent objects, and they can be dumped by trivial parsing. So we covered some basics of the PDF, and now we can look. Yeah, half an hour, yeah, that's good. So now let's go for the hiding and revealing elements. So if you didn't know already, even if the text is white, you could still select it. That's the usual trick. And as we saw, you could still extract all the images from the PDF file with the tool, with the external tool. It's possible to disable, to prevent the select all tricks, but it's not really reliable in all cases. There are ways to disable it, there are ways to disable those disablers, and so on, so it's not really sure. So in any case, secrets can still be recovered, even if the select all doesn't work. Yeah, I'm not going to cover here some stuff that is reader specific. That will be in my talk afterward. We'll see some specific stuff. So for example, you could merge a decoy document and a real PDF, and the decoy will be visible from standard tool. And even the PDF to text, the standard extraction tool, will look at this fake document, and if you open it with a different document viewer, then you will see the actual hidden secret file. So it depends how much confidentiality you mean, but if someone just used standard tools to open your PDF, oh, this is just, yeah, I don't know, Speiseplan, whatever, then that could be enough, but to hide something. It's not encryption, but at least that could deceive the adversary. And once again, images, that they are independent objects, so unless you kill the subtype image, they will be easy to dump. Another thing is that I don't cover, I'm talking about covering part of the PDF, not putting any data in the PDF, as you saw with my TrueCrypt and other master boot record examples. Because as soon as you have a stream, even if the object is not referenced, you could put anything here and it will just work. So you could use PDF as a container, but that will not be actually a part of the PDF that is disabled. So that's a different thing, right? Yeah, some people from academia suggested that this is a nice way when you publish a paper, but you also want to bundle easily the zip with the PDF. So you would distribute one file that contains the paper and also the source of your project. And that's really easy to do. So you just append some objects with a fake number, object number, and then you put the zip here, and that will work. So now, yeah, we'll go from that part at last, I'd say. And once again, yeah, this is my motivation to say, don't use a toolkit that is ready, but create your own, or maybe experiment that so that you will have, but maybe, because if you end up using all one tool that I create, then it's not really efficient anymore. It's more, I think it's better to create your own method. So before we open, first, if the stream is in binary, the content of the page is in binary, you cannot edit it, so you need to decompress them. PDFTK can do that, but I suggest QPDF, because QPDF has a nice mode that reorganizes the PDF in a very readable way. That's what we will use later. It's really nice. QPDF has this as mode, the QDF mode, which just organizes the PDF very nicely. Like, it's really helpful to then open the PDF so that everything is structured once decompressed. And then you open it in text editor and you see in parallel with the viewer, with the renderer. So just as a reminder, PDF page that you see once it's rendered, or what that could be extracted by PDF to text, is a stream object. Then it has contents of a type page, which has kids, and the kids contain type pages, and the pages, it's going backwards, sorry. It's the content of a page that are in the case of a pages, and this is a reference in the root object, and the root object is a reference in the trailer. And a text on the page is a simple text operator with a string. So if you want to hide a page, then you could just remove the reference from the kids. So for example, I'm not going to do it live, but here this is a document with 3 pages, and we just have the kids with 3, it's an array with 3 elements, object 6, reference to object 6, reference to object 14 and 21. And if you remove the object in the middle, you replace with space and you save, the page in the middle disappeared from the display. It's still physically here, all the objects are here, but at least if you open it, it won't be visible anymore. Yeah, important stuff. If you forgot to update the count, then it will crash Adobe. But not the other tools. Yeah, that's just important. But the first time I was like, shit, I should be careful. So now you can clearly, you just remove one reference, the pages disappear, all the objects are back, and you just write it back, the page will be back again. Easy, but already that will, no, people cannot copy paste outside the content of that page in an automated way anymore. Like Control-A will not find text anymore because the page is in the document, in the file, but not in the PDF, in the document inside the PDF viewer. So an important thing is that when you use like PDFTK and you want to extract, you want to remove page 4, they don't disable one page, they actually extract the other pages. So the whole objects, like here, object 14 would be lost, but because it's not sure, the image will stay. So if you removed a page from a PDF document by this technique, it will, the objects defining content of the page will be lost. But if you had an image on this page, the image is kept in case, so the image can still be automatically extracted. So as you can see, it's not really easy. The page is absent, the text is absent, but the image is still there. If this image is confidential, bad for you. I mean, if you wanted to hide it. So that's why it's not so trivial to know how, if stuff is still there or not, and there are so many mistakes. So another example. So basically, when you have overlapping elements, so you have another, the usual censorship is when an element is covered by another one. And basically, an element is just an operator in the binary stream of the content of the page. So one nice thing is that usually when someone had a page and someone added a square on it, then typically this element is added last because it's order of priority. So look at the end of the binary stream and you could find maybe this element to be removed easily. So here are a few examples of these operators that you see in binary streams, stroking a path, filling, and all of this, or displaying a string. There are not all of them, but at least a simple TJ means the string is displayed. A simple S means drawing a path and so on. So now we'll see an example. So we have here behind this confidential box, we have some stuff we want to reveal. We could extract it in another way, but now we want just to see if it's there or not. And if we look in the stream, on the content stream, then we see this S, which is a stroke path. So you could search, for example, for new line, S new line. If you remove this S, then you notice that the black box is gone. Okay. Now we can go and see the F with all the stuff before is path filling. And if we remove it, then we can see what's behind, whether it's a text or an image. And now to remove that, we have another text operator. The trick here is that because of font mapping, you don't see the confidential letters, but they are mapped between fonts and characters. So you can see that N is present twice, and you can see that N is 1 and 1 is twice. But yes, you just remove the TJ here, and the text is gone. And you recovered the initial document. You could have copy-paste the content, but now it looks better, and you could even easily automate this part. Another trick told by Kurt is that page is not a media box, and I'm not going to explain PDF in details, but what you see is the crop box, basically. And what is in the media box, but not in the crop box, is not extracted. So before you get lost, an example, you have the pages, and here you actually have two texts, but by changing the dimension of the page, the text is gone from here, because we say the page is that, but then reduce the view, and by automated extraction, you will only get this. And now, by disabling temporarily one of the view, the page is actually bigger, and suddenly something appears. So you could hide something or not in this way. If it's what you want, then it's an easy way. There's actually this very funny trick and dangerous. In OS 6, when you copy-paste some PDF content, it actually takes the full page, but it just defines the view to be smaller. But actually, the whole page is here. So imagine you have a confidential slide, and you just copy-paste a small part of it to the management or to the customer. But actually, what OS 6 did was taking the whole page and just reducing the view to something, but actually everything is still there. So if there was some confidential information, bad news for you, and it won't even give you a warning about this. A very funny part is that if you rotate the document with the two fingers, you temporarily see a part of the file that was hidden. So actually it looks like you only have this, but you have the rest. I can show you the actual document. Yeah, let's see, OS 6 preview. Actually, we'll go through it, why not? OS 6. So, oops, yeah, this is the hello world. And if we just disable the crop box, you have this. So the actual full content of the file is not here. If you would give this file to someone, you would give actually the whole content. Just imagine there is something confidential hidden, and then you actually gave the whole page to whoever you didn't want to get. Another example, this time is with the colors. For example, there is text here that is hidden. And for example, you could define here it's RGB, so it's white. And also, this is a specific parameter to say the text is invisible. So basically, yeah, we could do it manually, or now we could say, we could just go through it, 20 minutes. No, 10 minutes, sorry. So basically, you change the color and the parameters. Now the text is visible again. So this is another way to hide, even though it will be still be selectable. Yeah, I'm not sure I will have the time actually. Yeah, more deniable hiding. Yeah, incremental updates. Incremental updates is a way that is not so common anymore, but it's still supported, where you can provide you can have your document and you can say, okay, now I overwrite the definition of these objects. So basically you can have a top secret document and just provide an update to this object just to say, okay, now they are limited. So let's look, for example. So here we have a page and the stream, the usual object stream 4 contains top secret. Okay, now we just want to override this we want to add a new definition of the object 4, saying it's hello world. And for that, we'll supply another cross-reference that is smaller, that just updates the object 4 with a new generation, and another trailer, an extra trailer after the previous one, that will just say, provide the same root, the same size, because we didn't add a new object, we just provided a new version of the object, and point to the previous cross-reference. And of course, a new start xref to point to the new cross-reference. So basically now, we have, I will show you. Incremental, that's this one. Yeah, so. So here we just have, the top secret. I don't know if you can see. So at the top, you have the top secret document, the object 4 in its initial version, and the usual shape of the size. The cross-reference, the trailer, and the static ref. Until this point, it was a standard file. Now you have the update, the new version of the object, now that contains a different text, and oh, it's not, it didn't scroll down. And yeah, it's a different text. Here, it's a different text, and now we have a smaller cross-reference that just say, okay, update the object 4, but only that one, and a copy of the trailer with this previous pointer, and a new cross-reference. So now, we have the hello world, and if we just disable all this, we have the top secret. So basically it was a document that was confidential, we just updated some objects, and now, from a PDF viewer, it would usually show the hello world part. So while all the contents are still there, but they are there, then they are updated during the parsing. So it could be another technique. Okay, so yeah, I think, yeah, so I tried, incremental updates are very rarely used nowadays, so I'll just go with the real examples. So we'll take the review, we'll take the document of this, this is the official document. The official document that was present about hierarchy war, so that was available. It's made a lot of black. So at the moment, it's, oops, what did I do? So it's a lot of binary, so we cannot edit the content. So we just, oops. So we just ask PDF to launch its nice QDF mode, which is nicely ordering everything. We'll ask it to, so it's stream data, I always forget, we'll just ask it to uncompress and test.pdf. Yeah, at first try, okay, it takes a bit. Can I close something in the meantime? Yeah, okay. So now we have a new file that is exactly the same, but now the streams are in clear. And even better, thanks to QPDF, it's really nicely ordered. So now we open it. So let's go at the start. Okay, so we have this unit experience in the Baghdad area. So once again, that was a real document, right? And so Baghdad, so what do we have? We have in the Baghdad area of responsibility. So it looks like it's the right stuff, right? It looks like it matches the text. As you see, some elements of the text are truncated or whatever, but we don't care. That's how the official document was. And just after that, we have actually some, where is it? So I'll cheat a bit here because, yeah, here. This is a rectangle operator here. The small RE means create a rectangle, okay? So the thing is, I could just replace it Yeah, okay, I fucked up something. Okay, it's okay. So, but yeah, just let's be lazy and just replace. Yeah, still probably. Oh, let's replace all of them with 4 characters. Okay, RE, no. What did I do wrong? Replace all. Okay, what did I do wrong? Why doesn't it replace? Oh, yeah, sorry. Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay, so it's a bit slow because there are 700 references, and now, ta-da, it's gone. So, and it's, so now you could say, okay, this is the official document and so on. But what's funny is that there are those left. And let's look at them. So we have here, maybe you can see this Andrea Carpani thingy. And so let's look for Andrea Carpani. Is an Italian military officer. And here, so I'm cheating a bit, yeah, because I'm used to seeing what's, so those are text stuff. And this is a path, MLL. This is the start of a path. Yeah, this is just start of a path and then defining new points. And it's weird because there is no image. So it's like, wow, what is that suddenly? And as you can guess, yeah, text is gone. So now if I just use the same trick again, but with M, 3 occurrences, then, yeah, all of them are gone. So you could say, oh, I could copy paste out of that, but yeah, it's also very easy to just modify it. It's not so difficult to modify a PDF. And on the other hand, it's not so difficult to make sure that your text is gone from the PDF. So if you want to reveal some stuff in an official looking way, or you want to make now, but at least now you have no excuses for by accident displaying some content. Distributing some official content accidentally. Yeah, another one will do. Maybe I don't have much time. So proof of POC GTF4, the problem is that it's not a standard PDF because it's a Flash PDF. So then first we have to reestablish, we have to restore the PDF because I corrupted it. Okay, oh, 2 minutes. So this is the start of the PDF. You can see that it's pretty fucked up. So let's add a signature. PDF.1.5 0D percent 0D or 0A, yeah, sorry. And we'll select all this. And we go to the start of the first object. And we'll delete that. Okay. And now we go at the end and we go to, oops, end of file. And after we added a zip, which was a fake document. So, I mean, yeah, it was a real zip, but it was a fake, yeah. See this. Okay, so now it opens because we made it back a normal PDF. And we have this at the end, so the poem is censored. So once again, we get some text. High capacity weaponized poem has been censored. Oh yeah, I shouldn't close it, but anyway. And now let's open it. So we said weaponized. Yeah, there are Easter eggs in the PDF because why not? Weaponized, come on. Oh yeah, it's too slow with that viewer shit. So now, yeah, that's me. Weaponized. Okay, so poem. Okay. Oh yeah, I didn't unpack it. Stupid me. The thing is, yeah. Oh, I need to. Okay. Ah, yeah. So initially, QPDF would just reject the file that was a flash ISO for a unknown reason. Maybe it's invalid, but at least now it can work with it. Maybe I had one offset wrong or something, I don't know why it's still complaining. Unable to find, did it manage to do anything? No, it didn't. Ah, what did I do wrong? Maybe I have one character that is too much. End of, start xref. Oh, what's wrong? Oh yeah, I missed one character here. Big deal. Okay, so maybe it should work now. Yeah, no error. Because the offsets were just one off, and QPDF is very picky. But on the other hand, it will extract the file nicely. Let's close some stuff. Now we have our new file, test2. Okay, and we can open it. So we look for poem. Okay, maybe the font is not correctly together. Pun, weaponized. Okay, very nice. I don't know what's going on. So if I look for ancestral, you just have to look for some pieces of the text. So you can see here. So weaponized, I don't know. Okay. The number of the page? Okay, so page 54. So page, no, just like this? No. Okay. Thanks, Kurt, again. So original object? No. Original page number? Okay, so I'm not lucky. Oh well, I failed my demo. I don't know why. It should still work. So capacity maybe. Oh, high capacity. Okay, so now you have it. So you can see the text. I don't know if it's clearly visible, but you can see the text here.
You see here the content for page.
Okay, contents for a page. But anyway, now I have the operators. So this one are actually the G ones. Can you see them? Okay, I cannot do. The G ones are actually defining the level of gray. So basically, if we just erase them, so if we just replace them all to, so it's basically saying to white again. So 0 and 0, and we save. Can we have it? No. No, we don't. Yeah. See, the poem is back. Because I just modified the so that's how you actually, so it was a challenge in the PDF saying how you could re-enable this poem. So you have to make it back a normal PDF, you have to decompress the streams, and then you just have to change the operators, selecting the gray color, and the text is back. So just a real example of restoring from real documents, even if that one is certainly more complex than most PDF you will encounter usually. So I'm out of time, which is unexpected, but yeah, that's the conclusion. So PDF file format is awkward, but you don't need to understand everything to hide or reveal stuff. Be very careful when you remove sensitive elements, and certainly you can quickly check now if it's gone for good. And of course, overlapping with an element is easy to re-enable, as you saw. So develop your own method. If you have specific questions, if you want to have ideas around this, or you want to automate it, then yeah, just give me a ping. Sometimes it's difficult to rebuild, because now we saw that the text was always font, but if the text was actually drawn like the font were converted to graphics, then it would be very difficult to manipulate. And thanks a lot to Kurt for his help and everybody who contributed. Thanks.